What are steroids used for? Is there a good use for them? Questions like these are commonly asked about many medicines in today's society. We are always competing to be the best, but the real question is, where does it stop? Healthy competition is good, but what about the unhealthy?
My standpoint on steroids is just like, if you're an athlete and your federation or association obviously prohibits you using it, then don't do it. If you're allowed to use it, then that's your choice. But if you're competing, like let's say in football or baseball or powerlifting, and the rules certainly say you cannot use this, then you shouldn't use it. I mean, suspicious is a weird word. Like I've had people, I know people who are on it or on things, and know people who aren't. A lot of it is just like your genetic potential. Like some people are just built different than others, so you'll have a different genetic potential than other people. That doesn't mean you're on something. So like if your genetic potential is crazy and you could squat something that I can never do, then I might be suspicious, but generally, no, not too much.
I would say for people who are newcomers and decide to use steroids, I think a lack of knowledge or not having the right either coaching or direction, it's kind of, I guess you would say, like a way to like skip not the hard work, but you're kind of like skipping a lot of the steps to get to where you want to be. Whereas I guess people who've been in the sport longer, who then decide to use steroids, they might maybe feel like they've hit their ceiling as far as they can go, and they want to be able to continue to stay relevant in the sport. So I would say, I guess the biggest challenge for the stereotyping of powerlifting with steroids is that it's made it really difficult, I know, on the international level to get powerlifting into the Olympics and different things like that. There's the IPF, International Powerlifting Federation, and they do the World Games and things like that that are on the same level as the other World Games for different sports, but they haven't been able to break into the Olympic arena just because it's so heavily stereotyped, and heavily people do use a lot of steroids in powerlifting. There's that fact too. So they're trying to really crack down on drug testing and things like that for those people who are in federations that drug test. So.
Over the past 30 years, U.S. Olympic athletes have been accused of steroid use. In the 1990s, many track and field competitors were eventually caught for juicing. When these athletes were forced to come forward, they made it difficult for clean athletes like Yolanda Warren Dawson to continue competing.
Pretty much when I got to high school, that's where I met my best friend, and she would always beat me. It wasn't until I got in college is when I beat her, because she went to University of Tennessee and I went to LSU. Going into my sophomore year, that I knew that I had the potential to be great. They were really strict on us in the NCAAs, and it was crazy. It was like a lot of over-the-counter cough medicine. It was a lot of stuff you couldn't take. So if you was sick, you was pretty much, trying to find, home remedies that, that you wouldn't get caught, like, doping on. So look at Marion, you get everything ripped from you. So what was the benefit of doing something illegal? I did get upset that this is what they were doing. They were not being honest. And I think the money thing is what really caused a lot of them to keep doing that. Even Marion, when we were in the off season, she couldn't hang. I was killing her out there in the workouts.
And then all of a sudden in the spring,
they was kicking it like they leaving me in the dust, like I hadn't been training.
Like a light switch, and it just turned on.
Yep. I felt like at one point that I was pretty much just used to like a rabbit. Like the attention wasn't really to get me better or fast, because I had been great. From what I understand and what I was told was that they'll get these chemists that can help them conceal this stuff in their bodies when they get ready to be tested. Because of the doping, a lot of people lost their status. They lost their status with USA Track and Field. They lost their status with just fans. I mean, it was, I know for a lot of athletes that or people in general that was rooting for the athletes, it kind of, they were disappointed. I mean, I was really disappointed because they know that these people are doing this, doing these extra drugs to get ahead, and so they finally probably just caught up and had better ways to detecting illegal dopings in the drugs. I pray that the athletes that I do see is like all natural, because it makes you genuine.